And Mousesports somehow made this happen. And here we are on the third map. And overtime later, Complexity, shaking, quaking. But you got to, you know, brush it off and pick up your feet and get back on it with the map, Harry. Would not want to be in their shoes right now.
No, right? It's one of these things where it's like, you know, that wasn't like a 15-10, you know, like one where it's more understandable. Like you were 15-8 up, like you were 9-1 up at one point in that game. The resilience that Mousesports shows is impressive, especially when you think about the new addition of Dexter. So this pistol round now, explosive to begin. Mousesports with a double opener. Poison doing everything he can to hold on to ramp, but he doesn't want to throw any more problems in the way of Cole, so he's just going to try and, I was going to say be a bit more passive in this, but actually he's just taking all the fights, he's taking all the risks, and with Poison, maybe they're not risks after all. He's turned it back in the advantage of Cole. And this push now, grinding hole. I think the plan was, Mouse were like, okay, well if Rops is in A, let's try and get into hell, try and get into this A site, and now they're split. They're a level apart. Rops is all the way up on A, just waiting, sitting around, and Acor's trying to engineer a plan to get the bomb there. But Blame is here, and he might just catch him. Oh, the timing's been missed. Config's like, don't worry, Blame, I got it, I'll do right by you. And he drops that bomb out in the open. Rops playing the trigger discipline, in with the first, the star of that last map, now offered up in a 1v3, turned 1v2. And is he gonna, oh, he went back towards the vent, hesitated a moment there. Will commit to the A side plant. Config can see him. Rops is sticking out, and now low on HP. Blame will put that man down and put Complexity up 1-0.
Yeah, that was quite a precedent set for Mousesports to start the round. They walked into a triple ramp setup. Usually that's a death sentence, but Mousesports killed two of the three players. Config drops B, and that's also, I think, somewhat of the reason that Mousesports don't want to end up lower, right? They know they have Rops in the A site, but they also know Config's dropped off at the ramp. So, yeah, they just try and get back up heaven, and Poison denies all of that. Great round for Cole. Despite all the constant, you know, mid-round decision from Mousesports, the changes, Cole stayed very much ahead of it, afloat. So a pistol round taken, smokes outside for Mouse. Oh, deleted through it is Dexter. Doesn't even see his opponent. And Poison's trying to stop the cross to Secret as well. He checks Silo, no one's dropping main quick. Mousesports will be able to get down towards the lower bomb site, or at least towards a Secret. That's a big pick for Robs. At this point, you just unleash him. You tell him, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, and he'll do it. Rob's looking for more. He can only get damage, 2 HP for Poison, and a double lower rotate for Cole. They are ready and waiting.
Yeah, they've seen it now. Blame F has got some heads to click on. There they are. Oh, those heads are moving around a lot, though, and now it's down to this 2v2.
Yoink.
Poison's low as well, so this round, really, a lot of it is falling onto the shoulders of Rush. Now, he's hit a good timing in through the vent. This wrap, oh, it gets deked out by Acor, and Poison dropped by Frozen with the Org. Man, Mousesports, they steal it back. That wasn't even like a proper force, you know? You had like, had a bit of investment in terms of some deeks purchased up, but they were armorless, you know? They were just trying to get away with the plant. They win the whole damn round.
Yeah, 4-on-3 in favor of Cole as well after Robs gets traded on the ramp side. I think Blame definitely wants a little bit more from that position, right? At least to get out alive.
I mean, that was what they were playing for, right? Yeah. Was that crossfire, like Config draws them in, Blame gets them, you know, like while the attention's peeled away.
Yeah, Blame was crouched, and he doesn't uncrouch when Config makes contact, which gives just, you know, 2 more seconds of Mousesports realizing the Config's hidden, and they can go on to their next battle. Guns are out, force for Cole. And these smoke spam shots don't really do too much. Frozen's low, that's about it. Nice clear for BMAS. Finding Config down on this B bomb site. 2 players in the vent. Acor or Rush rather getting a tag down low and finished off. They're not ready for another man there though. And JKS has also come in off of his ramp rotate. So there's enough players here for Cole, but can they put up the kills? One and done. And now up the vent is an opportunity perhaps with Rops inside of the hut looking at A with delight.
Out they come. It's free to move in. Nobody here, nobody fighting. And Cole, they hear the footsteps, but that's about all they're good for. Hoping they can scrounge a weapon from down here towards B, but BMAS is keeping it protected, and so that's not going to happen. It might just be this save of a scout, the armor on JKS with the Deeg. I like that this is how this starts, Hugo. I like that, that it's like, there's no waiting around, you know, it's no pistol round one, get the conversions, you know, like a slow beginning. It is like immediately competitive with Mousesports bringing that same, almost like anger across from Dust 2. I saw a stat that said in overtime on that Dust game, Rob said 206, I think it was, ADR. He went 14-4 in OT.
Wow. That is unreal, actually, yeah. 14-4. Man like Robs. 2-1, not 12-1, but hey, we'll see how this goes, I guess. And yeah, Mousesports, they may lose a pistol, but they immediately come back in with a vengeance. You know, if you're Cole, you can never let your foot off the throat of Mousesports, as they learned the hard way on Dust. Sadly for now, well, they've got to lift their toes just that little bit. No money. Gonna have to be an eco. Poison on the scout, taking it yard bound. JKS with a saved armor dig. Above the smokes will give at least the info that these smokes are fake smokes for Mousesports, so that's actually big for Cole, who keep up a ramp stack. They're rotating Blame down low, but they don't need to, and Poison will confirm that, so Blame sticks around. However, Mousesports might just take this A site. Robs has been very active inside of the hut and just getting room and figuring out where these stacks are and where they aren't, most importantly. A is empty, open for the taking, and with the Poison dead, there is no way into this round for Cole. Just the mop up. And it's clinical. 3 from Dexter and 3 for Mousesports as they take a nice strong lead. Cole's first buy is going to be pretty weak, the bare bones minimum as far as CT rifle rounds come.
Yeah, and this is for like a variety of reasons, right? This is like the roughest start you could have hoped for if you Cole. We always say losing that pistol, but then winning the pistol and then losing the follow-up, especially CT side, feels so punishing already because you're effectively like 1 loss bonus behind right now if you're Cole. And on top of that, the fact that these rounds have been pretty damn clean for Mousesports means their money is in a great space early on. So this is going to be a real grind for Cole to get back into this. They lose Poison.
Oh my.
They know you're here now as he drops that smoke to keep himself alive. They've got him trapped over here in secret. The nades are raining in, and Rops is putting bodies in bags elsewhere. A blink of an eye, it's just down to 2 for Complexity and Blame F. Well, he is good to stand the test of time down here in secret. He is looking worse for wear. And this is already gearing towards a save, an incredibly dominant first rifle round. And now we're really seeing the effect of this money, because next round, mate, you've still got nothing if you're Complexity.
Yeah, Yanka was talking about how, you know, Cole, we should expect a lot of top hits on their T side. Well, right now, that's what we're getting out of Mousesports. They are just finding every weakness, every insecurity in this top site. And from Rops running out the hut to just splitting main quick. Not enough resistance for Complexity to hold on to that position. They've had ramp stacks, they've had early B rotates, but they've not had anything on A. Blame. Do they know he's behind this box? Oh, they might find out the hard way, or maybe for him, because BMAS is looking to clear it, and that's a kill. No M4 for you. JKS saves his in the spawn, but that's all Cole get out of the round with. Still has to be an eco here, right? Pistol armor at best. And so Mousesports are already in for a daring T-side start to this map. Also, it is really nice to see Dexter fragging. He was huge in Dust 2 in terms of the scoreboard. Obviously, a lot of attention on players like Rops for good reason, right? He's a reason that that game was kept afloat in so many rounds. But Dexter was fragging, which was nice. We didn't see a lot of that back on Mirage, where he was just often, you know, abused towards a B-bomb site. And now he's bringing some of that flair into this one as well. So, good sign for Mousesports. Config's in the vent. Rops needs to be careful if he drops in, but Config climbs up and Rops hears that ladder as well. He heard it. Config going above. And I think he might have Rops here trapped in the corner. He doesn't know. Free kill for Config, but they're already out the door with the bomb as well. Committed. Oh, Mousesports, they need the kills, and Dex is full of them. Double up towards A. Molly in main, 2 in the heaven for Cole, but surely they can't put up much of a resistance with Mousesports all over the site.
Yeah, you can catch Frozen here in the back of the lobby, and maybe that spurs you on to give this retake a go. But even then, Frozen looks very, very cautious.
Ooh.
Not cautious enough, as BlameF will dispatch of him, and now that Scout chiming in with another. Suddenly, this has gone from looking like a lock-in to a very lethal round for Mouse. Dexter spammed, and they hear it. They hear the connections. BMAS, all eyes on him as he's around these silos, looking for any way out, looking to keep this round alive for Mousesports. Plays it to perfection with the swing, and the spray transfer is flawless. BMAS, it's a 5th on the board for Mouse as he closes out that 1v3.
Oh my. Wow, when you got that thrown into the cook, you know, the hot pot, I don't even know how to call that, Mousesports. We've not even really said BMAS's name in this series. He's not come in with any massive rounds like some of the others, but throwing a clutch like that, and suddenly Cole has certainly got to be worried. Mousesports are lit up right now. And you can see how much hype brings, but it's surprising how cool and calm Dexter looks in all of the camera shots we get. Like in winning and losing, he seems very collected, and that's a good head on the shoulders that Mousesports need. Oh my, you've just got everyone here. There's no weak link. There's no problem for Mousesports. Clutch is coming out of the wazoo. BlameF coming out of B. Sneaking up the stairwell. He might be a bit late to the party. Mousesports have already come into this A site. BMAS is running wild through the hut with Rops as well, looking for a double opener. He locks out the Heaven player with the AWP, and he swings into one outside. Oh, it's a set trap for Mousesports, and they've caught many, many, many targets. A-Court doesn't let JKS save, and oh my, Harry.
Matt, it's like we've gone on like some weird anime storyline progression. It's like Mousesports, they were looking so like weak back on Mirage. You know, it looks so meager. And then, like, piece by piece, Dexter, you know, like someone that they were just routinely trying to take advantage of back on Mirage. But now he's like one of the big dogs laying waste to complexity. Mousesports coming alive and looking better and better as they're not just, you know, having that huge comeback and the momentum pushing them forward, but the fact that they are absolutely dominating Cole to open up this third map. You couldn't write this stuff, man. Like this... This like redemption arc for the Mousesports squad in this series within the context of it, and also what it means for these teams is just unreal. Mousesports, they want to go to Katowice, and if they keep this up, who knows? They might have snatched it away from complexity right at the finish line.
That is heartbreaking. The worst, like, it would be amazing to see Mousesports in Katowice with this lineup, with the, you know, the honeymoon period that they're potentially in, especially. But for Cole, after a year of disappointments, not due to their own fault, just due to the annoying medical situation and Poison not being able to play with the team and stand-ins, and we know that the potential of this team has been held back by that. Well, finally, we get the roster back. We put them in a position to get to the main event, to show us what they've got against the very best in the world. And from 15-8, an easy game to close, perhaps. And they might go nowhere with it. Even with Poison, they may not get the chance to show us what they've got. That would be Heartbreak Hotel for Complexity. But Mousesports, they don't care what Complexity want. It's who's going to fight harder for the spot. And right now, Mousesports are showing up in every way, shape, and form. And that's a great shot for Rush. All the Deagle doing damage outside as well. BMAS beelining towards B. Flame. Oh, very close, but not getting any kills here. Still Cole sit a man up with a gun gifted to Rush, and config is lower as well.
Yeah, this is a scary round. You know, you've lost Rops early on. You're in a 4-on-5, and you've got no map control outside of Secret. So everything you're doing now has to be from this position. Going back outside, that could be a death sentence. And as you creep down here in towards B, you don't know the numbers for Cole. You don't know if they've read this. You're walking into real murky waters, and there's no shining light off in the distance to guide you. Config faking that decon door, trying to feign the idea that he's left and gone away.
Oh no!
A-Core bailing out his friend with that kill onto Rush, but it has just grinded to a bit of an awkward halt here. Cole, they're still not sold on this idea of it being the B play. They're still paranoid that Mouse could try and head up these vents. That's not looking like the case. And now even they realize that. They start to rotate these pistols in. Config, he feeds the beast, and Blame is caught on the lurk. It's tipped back in the advantage of Mouse again. And now these two Cole players that were far away from the action are cut down as they try to rotate in. That was looking like it was going to be a complexity read at least, right? Maybe even a round to follow if they had their pieces in the right place. But there's no accounting for these individuals. Frozen showing up, shutting down not just Config, but the flick back onto Blame on that wrap.
Yeah, whoever makes the call to just hold to stop for a second, and they wait, 15, 20 seconds, but it's everything for Mousesports. It's the difference between, walking into Config, prepared in the rafters in a really good position, to really Cole just kind of pushing in early on Mousesports' relaxation. JKS might find all the kills here, but he can't win the round, and he might just get backstabbed by BMAS. There it is. And Mousesports up to 7. Yeah, like they just stop, right? And Config, he gets spotted by Acre, and then he drops in down below. That's an awkward one.
Man. Is there no stopping Mouse right now? Poison, bringing the AWP back out. Come on, Poison, man. We want a bit more, right? If there ever was a time to show why Complexity waited for so damn long, it would be a round like this. But Rops has got no business in letting them show their talents. Dashes out into that A-bomb site. Poison's now up in heaven. They're just going to bypass him completely. They drop the vent, but Blame's already here. Trying to deny this lower rotate, and this AUG is just tearing through Mouse. This could be them on for a winner. Frozen will wrap him and get that late trade onto Blame F. Mouse looking like they want to be quick to act here and get into B while they've got this forward momentum. JKS dropped by the AWP, and it's down at the 2v2. Once again, a round that started off looking so good for Cole. Now, even odds in this retake, but with the bomb down, low HP on Rush, it's never going to be easy. You're relying on Mousesports doing something wrong, and they've not made many mistakes today. Just silence all across the map. Now as these smokes fade, with it comes the push into Frozen. That double peak, perfectly timed to put 8 on the board for Mouse. And it was a big question early on, like, was this just like a strong start carrying off the momentum that Cole could try and build their way back into? Well, thus far, they've found absolutely nothing. And even these rounds where they've had these big advantages have still come up in favor of Mouse. They're looking so determined. And for Cole, maybe even deflated after how it all fell apart on Dust.
You got to think about that mental aspect, right? For Mousesports, they just did the impossible. You called it, Harry. You called it an impossible comeback, and I agreed. It still happened. They still did it. All that's going to do is pump you up. For Cole, they lost an impossible comeback, or to an impossible comeback. They gave away a game that should never be lost in any way, shape, or form. What's that going to do to your head? It's going to take the smartest person not to get down and out about that, or the best leader to pump your team up and continue going. And as we know, Blame is great at that. That's just such a tough task. And it feels like the scales might have finally been weighed in the favor of Mousesports. About time. Cole need to get outside of their heads right now. The bigger picture. Because Mousesports have no fear. Why would they?
Yeah, I mean, they were just in polar opposite scenarios as well. Like, from ours, it was nothing to lose, everything to gain, and they're gaining it. Whereas Cole, it was everything to lose. They were so nearly there. And that might be their memory of Katowice. That might be how this event goes down in the history books, unless we see them switch it up and grind their way back in. And that's the kind of shots you would need to get you there. Config onto the AK, nice. Double up, and now the rest of the gang try and rush in as well. They do lose JKS at ramp. That is a huge window of opportunity for Mouse.
The gamble lower.
Oh,
of course, the one round, the Mouse don't take the ramp route to B when they get it. They go all the way around the world. And what also happens in the same round? Cole dropped 2 lower and a 3rd in secret as well. Rops is patrolling outside in the yard. He's come all the way in through hell. Now, timing is everything on Poison. Does he reaggress? Surely not with the scout, right? Oh, no. That's the kill. Rops has been gifted another frag, and now the jig is up. Now, Cole, no, this is a top hit. Rush has to get into position. He's dropped into the hut. He's in a great spot to maybe find this AWP. But if it misses another shot, the pistol's out. Acor wins his fight, and now back to the vent where they know these B players will have dropped in. Rops deals with the first. Blame on the long rotation up the secret stairs. Can't stop the plant, and surely can't stop save the round. Smoked off, no kit, 1 on 3. Mousesports stealing it out of nowhere.
Blame doing anything he can, but winning this round so unrealistic with the crossfire that's set up here between Squeaky and Vent. As Acor delivering a 9th to Mouse, the perfect call, the perfect read, and if you're Blame, man, it must feel like Dexter's in your head. And that's so impressive, right? Having just joined this team, come over, barely even time for an introduction. And then you lead Mousesports on this incredible comeback. Now moving into this third map, you're reading Blame F and the rest of Cole.
Yeah, you've absolutely got to give them a huge amount of credit, right? Like, obviously, we know these individuals have been massive for Mousesports to be in this position, looking at Acor's orb, looking at Rob's and what he unleashed back on Dust, but especially on these T sides right now, like, Dex has had every right call, every time Cole think they've read into things and pre-rotate and make an early move, Mousesports dodge it. And so, yeah, Dexter, huge value in this team right now. Let's hope that keeps up. Robs will finally get punished for a play out the vent. Tries to sneak through the door. It's a spray from Rush to find an opener, and that's something for Cole. But as we've known, 1 kill can mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. You got to get it over the line, and Mousesports are going to use this line of smokes to cross down towards Secret.
Yeah, Cole, they just want anything to break this momentum, right? Anything to stop Mouse being this far ahead and make them play a little more respectfully. And this could be that round. This could be one of the turning points, potentially. Poison doubling up, and there's the crossfire from Rush in main. It's left onto BMAS with another 1v3 on his plate. He was able to win the last one, but this time the odds are really stacked against him. The crossfire between Rafters and CT Vent is a very tricky one to navigate. Oh, the Molotov pull, not well timed. You wanted to flush Rush out into the open. Instead, Rush brings the fight to him.
Yeah, it's a Counter-Strike timing for you there, right? He knew Rush had to be in that corner. And, well, unlucky, we'll say. Either way, it's a nice round for Cole. It's about time, finding their second. Poison, he saw the barrel of Acor flicking on top of Red, and that's why he flicks back up to scope on his position. Just that 1 millisecond of warning was enough for Poison, who gets 2 kills outside before he's traded by Dexter. But that still falls in the favor of Cole. And for Mousesports, you know, forget about it. Move on to the next round. You've got so many on this T side. You've won the half at a worst. And at best, well, there's many more to be found. Rob spraying the door, gets revenge onto Rush this time around. And I like this move for Mousesports. They keep throwing these smokes. Last round when they threw them, no one dropped B for Cole. It wasn't B, right? That was the right call because they've been burned so many times by these fakes into lower and top hits. And so Cole, again, don't really drop too much down B. JKS will go down the ramp, but he also returns back up to the top side. So right now, Frozen has so much room to do whatever he wants on B, sell this fake by throwing utility and opening doors, and he's hoping that he can draw players down into that bottom site to give Mousesports A. Right now, they're not falling for it, but if Frozen keeps taking ground, he can make that call, and Mousesports will be assured that A will be heavily stacked.
Oh, they're walking into the double ramp setup, though. This is not something that Mowers should be accounting for. Now a triple ramp setup as Blame F's rotated in. These are not the kind of numbers you're going to expect at the ramp side. Mousesports. Oh, it's the double fake out. Dexter's even gotten into heaven. Complexity have got absolutely no idea that he can be here. Dexter has hit a perfect timing as they drop players down. Poison's hit a timing of his own. Acor from the heavens above, but it's Poison with the lineup. And now the orb retrieve. Dexter from the heavens rains down that death into the A site. There's 15 seconds. They need to get this bomb, or they need to get these kills. And Dexter arriving late to the party, cancelled out by config. It's all onto Frozen. He's tasked with the impossible. There's the first, but through the wall is Poison, and it's 3 on the board for Cole, as Poison will deliver.
Oh no, Mousesports, they could have just run out the door, Harry. They could have just said, screw it, Poison's behind us, who cares? Dexter's out in the A site. That's like a hindsight round, right? Like, that's not even a bad play for Mouse. Poison just nails into the wall. Like, they're just trying to trade that kill. When A-Core comes off roof, everyone's going, he's in lobby, we need to trade that, we need to kill him. But really, in reality, they have the bomb and door. They can just push into A, Dexter kills both A players, and they can just commit to the plant and deal with Poison later, but they get stuck. Going back to deal with him cost them the round, and now back-to-back rounds for Cole. They start believing again. Maybe the chance of 6.5, it's not perfect, but you take what you can get when elimination is on the line.
I don't think any comebacks off the card. That's what I've learned, right?
Yeah.
You know, Cole, all you need is a little bit of belief. Mousesports showed us that already. Oh, so close to finding one another. As you know, the Rops is this deep, and there he is, deleted at ramp. That's going to force the rotate out of Poison, but Rops is ahead of it. Oh, he caught him jumping down. All right, he was ahead of it, but you can't fall faster than bullets fly. VMAS with the opener in a B, but that pesky AWP is here again, and once more, it's delivering up the goods. Finally cancelled out by A-Core. In come the rotations, the cavalry arriving, and look at that, very aggressive from Config, only good for 1. And so these are the moments, right, you need Blame F to deliver. These are the moments he's often so good in playing these clutches, these 1v2s. The bomb's exiting out through ramp. Now this temporarily gives them a 1v1, but Blame isn't taking that chance. He's waiting for a bomb plant that's never going to happen, because that bomb is going up into heaven. And as you say it, Hugo, it's around the world and into this A site. Blame clueless as to what's going on.
That is an AU call right there, right? Like, that's a mega brain for Dexter. He's left the bomb here for Frozen just in case he died in heaven and you know, and lost it in no man's land. Now Frozen throws it down, tells Dexter to get the plant in, and Blame's going, wait, what? B's clear? That's just insulting, honestly, that call in the 2v1. To leave B when you have it for free, and Blame's just got to run. He's just got to hope they are right above him, and he is dead man walking, dead man climbing. Frozen finishes it off, and a team ace for Mousesports to find their 10th. That is a beautiful call. That is amazing.
Yeah, and it must feel horrible for Blame. Like, you know how much effort this guy likes to put in. You know how much he's like known for watching these demos, for coming in prepared, being a very, very hard person to get ahead of. And, you know, if you're a guy like Carrigan who has this huge pedigree behind him, outsmarting someone like Blame, you know, maybe you can be a bit more forgiving. You know, Blame as someone who takes a lot of responsibility in leading this team, but it's Dexter, the brand new addition to Mousesports, in his head, rent-free, and leading Mousesports to a commanding lead on this third map. Katowice on the line, and they're looking destined for it. It's Blame F alive again to round out this one in a 1v4.
The saddest part about all of this is like, look at the scoreboard on Cole's side, right? Blame has 8 kills, Rush on 5, JKS 3, Config 6. Poison, he's got 17. He has been lights out with this AWP today. He has been incredible. Also, he was beasting on A-Core and Dust 2. Didn't matter.
Just a little note in this 1v4, it's another one where Blame's like, oh, they're going A. Well, actually, the bomb's down on B. It's like, it's like every time they're going to give you anything, they're going to convince you that you've got it wrong. And they're even holding for that A rotation, knowing that Blame has fallen for it.
The saddest part about all of that is like is how the game started with Mousesports so many rounds, like faking out that B site. Cole would like over rotate lower, and then Mousesports would just run out the hut. You know, Robs would find this timing into the A site, and Mousesports would either come up the vent or they'd split main from outside. They have just been ahead of Cole in every single round of this game, it feels like. And Poison, there's nothing more he can do right now. He is just finding multi-kill after multi-kill and losing every single round. Damn. Orb's back outside. Blame's pushed. He's so great at playing these close positions. Dexter not clearing it. Blame holding for a second. Almost finds 2. A-Core with a fast flick. His fingers are quick, and they even kill the Orb in Garage as well to make matters worse. Surely, with the secret control, you would just drop B here. No. Mousesports walk into the garage. They take the bomb even further into where no man has gone before. And JKS goes back to the lobby as he gets headshot in hell. Oh my dear Lord, this is it. 12-3 at the half. Nothing Config can do about it. And Mousesports destined for Katowice, only 4 rounds away.
Defied all the odds and truly done the impossible with Dexter at the helm. 12-3 at the end of that first half, and it's all to play for.
Yeah, this is one hell of a honeymoon, and who knows when it's going to end. Hopefully not today. Mousesports back to the CT side, and Dexter back to main, spamming blind and hitting shots. He doesn't mind. They're down the vent, but at this point, so are Mousesports, dropping rotations from the ramp side, and even a secret player as well, looking to deny that plant and any chance of making this comeback a reality. A pistol had to happen for Cole. You know, at worst, they can win the force, right? And we say how that's sometimes better, but at this point, 13-3. The odds so stacked against them, and there's nothing Blame can do on his own. Mousesports feels like an inevitability. Although we said that about Dust too, Harry.
I don't know about this one. It's just, you know, you tried to bully Dexter back on Mirage, but really all you did was wake the sleeping giant. That's what it feels like, you know, because somehow they get zoned back in come Dust 2. They make that comeback happen, and it just, you know, Mousesports, they're playing with this like level of assertiveness that you'd see from, you know, like teams that are used to like knocking around with the champions and things like that, you know, like that's what they're playing with right now. They are in the zone. They've got a read on the game. And the decision-making, for the most part, has just been near flawless. Even when the decision-making hasn't been there, or they've been left in these clutches, they've still been good to deliver those. And Cole, try as Poison might to be the hero of this story, it's not looking like anything he does is enough.
Yeah. Acor definitely needs a lot of commendation as well. He's had a great map here, especially. Looked good on Dust, but this is something else. Poison look with the scout outside. Scope for scope, but the smoke in the way, and Frozen taps him out. Acor helps with the SMG as well, going to jump up, and he does die, but Frozen keeps the round alive for a second at least. Blame crosses to Secret, and JKS needs this kill if they want to win this force buy, but he won't be able to finish the job, and he's lost his in-game leader in the process. That's the finishing blow, but of course BMAS gets the dink in, and that should seal the deal with a wraparound from Robs. Mousesports 14-3. We don't even get to see a gun round for Cole. Surely they just buy here.
Yeah, I mean, there's this, you know, I said this back on Dust, but this really is that moment of realization that no matter what you've done, no matter how close Dust was, how dominant Mirage was, all of it might just be in vain. Because the money isn't there. It's just pistols. Mousesports have got it all. They're laughing all the way to the bank. Buys in. Mac 10s, that's all you've got, and into Rops, into the ramp room, the Maws of the Beast, the man who made it all possible on Dust 2, now looking for the ace to put 15 on the board for Mouse, and here he is, out with the USP and lusting for blood, but Blame F just won't give the kill over. He wants that at the very, very least, just to hold on to some sense of dignity. They chase him down. And for Blame, it's all setting in now, that disappointment, that knowing that you were so close, and yet you won't make the cut. An impossible clutch on his plate. It's not going to happen. 15 for Mousesports. No money left on Complexity's side again. And it is an inevitability at this point that Mousesports, they're going to be the ones going to Katowice.
He's calling it, but I think this one's a little safer than the last. And yeah, not one AK fielded in this T side for Cole, right? Obviously, they don't have the breathing room for it. You can make the argument, sure, they can eco against 14 and buy here, but, you know, just trying to make the best of a bad situation, just trying to avoid playing an OT, considering how it went for them last time around. 15-3, a Galil, Mac 10s, and pistols for Complexity. Harrowing situation to be in. Rush lining up the main smoke, just trying to pop into this A side. Dexter's blinded. Molly does go down though, and Frozen has a bit of a mow down with the AUG. BMAS taking a kill, and this is all looking done.
Yeah, where one Aussie king has fallen, other Aussie royalty shall rise. Mousesports, they're going to Katowice. Dexter at the helm, Rops and Acor, the left and right hook of Mousesports. They get it over the line. Wow, what a series, what a comeback. And what a journey.